Good evening and a warm welcome to today's session. I am Sushmita Devisetti from Upgrad. I hope everyone is safe and healthy. So just a little housekeeping before we get started. If you have any questions during the webinar, apart from the ones you have asked in the registration form, please type them in the Q&A. I'll bring them up at the end. So now without further ado, we'll turn to our topic, how important is German language to survive in Germany? Today we have our expert panelists, Mr. Tarun Gupta and Mr. Ankur Dhawan. Mr. Tarun is pursuing his master's in digital engineering from Otto von Guericke University, Germany. He is also working as a research assistant in the same university. Ankur is a graduate from IIT Varanasi and a postgraduate from IIM Bangalore. He is currently serving as the president of Upgrad Abroad program. Ankur, over to you.
Thanks, Sushmita. Thank you, Tarun, for joining us from Germany. What time is it there?
It's 3:30.
Yes.
In the afternoon.
Good time for you. Middle of the afternoon, we are catching up with you. Great. Thanks a lot. I think our learners have more or less completed their job for the day. They must be out of the offices or whatever. Even at the home, they must be out of the office in their mind. And here to listen your views on Germany and how do we go to Germany and how important. I think the biggest question which will come to again and again during our conversation, the theme will be how important it is to know German language if you want to go and study in Germany and find a job there. But before that, I think I just want you to talk about your profile. Where did you complete your engineering and what were you doing before you thought about going to Germany? A little bit background about yourself.
Yeah, sure. So I finished my bachelor's in 2016 and I did my bachelor's from the LNM Institute of Information Technology. It's in Jaipur and I did it in electronics and communication engineering. After that, I worked for almost 3 years in Delhi NCR as a backend developer. During my bachelor's, I had a chance to go to Kazakhstan for an internship. And there I got the bug to live abroad. So that idea kind of stuck with me. And while I was doing my job, I was also thinking this is the right time that I should, if I want to, I should go to abroad and study there. And when I was working in Delhi, I thought, okay, I'm not growing in my job here right now. So it's the right time to pursue my master's and see how living abroad feels like. So that's how the journey started. And it took me about 8 to 9 months to prepare and come here to Germany since the starting. So all in all, yeah.
So see, one question which comes to mind when people think about going to Germany, first question which comes to mind, I need to know German language. That is where people stop. So I think let's start. When you were thinking about going to Germany, was this a question in your mind that I need to learn German language?
Yeah, definitely. This was a question. But I had a friend who was studying already in Germany. So I talked to him and he kind of gave me an idea or an insight into how Germany or German universities work. So since I was going to pursue my master's in computer science or any specialization of computer science, he told me that I'll not be requiring any German. And even for studies, I believe other disciplines also don't require German for studies if the course is offered in English. But for jobs, it's a different scenario altogether. Since computer science is more or less a global discipline, you find companies to be more international, where the culture is more English oriented. Whereas if you are from a, let's say, mechanical or a civil background or a chemical background, then you need to interact with locals more. And you can't assume, or you should not assume, that the local people will know English because it's not their first language. That's how I came to know that, okay, for me, it will not be a mandatory requirement and I can still pursue.
Sure. So I just want to clarify on this part. Most of the students who are here are going for computer science related course, data science or cyber security as a field, and some of them are going for management course. I'm sure management also requires you to work in companies which are international, mostly because they are going to do their specialization in international marketing.
Yeah.
where they will be dealing with people from other countries. So I'm assuming that also German language requirement is not that stringent. But for study, it is not required at all.
Yeah. See, for me, I have a module handbook, so which lists around 60, 70 courses that I can take during my whole master's.
Okay.
And 95% of them are offered in English. And I can finish my whole degree with those courses. And if I know German, I can take up courses which are offered in German. But since my course is primarily English based, I need not take courses in German. And that's true for every course that is offered in English. Because if it's offered in English, then you can finish your entire degree without taking any German courses.
What you are pursuing masters in computer science and specialization? Which
Specialization is in data science.
Data science. So you are doing data science only. Great. So you are perfect.
Yeah.
So I think one question which everybody wants to know from you, as you are in data science field, and you have found part-time jobs in Germany. As a data science intern, data science person there in Germany, what has been your experience of finding internships? Is it easy? Is it difficult? What kind of internships you have done outside campus and your experience there?
Yeah, sure. So all in all, it's not as difficult as it is in India because the competition here is less. Germany requires a lot of skilled labor. So that is the case here. And in my case particularly, I have worked in a company as a backend developer, again here in Germany, and I've been tutor of data science courses in the university. And now I'm working as a research assistant in data science for neural imaging with the university's medical campus. But it all comes down to the individual's profile. Since I worked in India for almost 3 years, it helps me a lot. And apart from that, I write blogs for data science. So that kind of boosts my profile. But I've seen people also who don't have any experience in the past, but they've done courses, they've done projects in the university itself, getting part-time jobs or internships as well. So it's not very difficult. It gets a little difficult for people who are inexperienced, but it's not impossible. It's relatively better than India. I can say that for sure.
And if you want to find part-time jobs, you found in campus as well. But outside campus, if you're looking, are there some portals where you go and find job opportunities?
There are multiple portals, like LinkedIn is there for sure. People use LinkedIn primarily here. And there is one other portal similar to LinkedIn called Xing, which is also used. And then you have university newsletter subscriptions, where companies approach university for jobs, and the university sends it to all the students in the newsletter. And in all universities in Germany, you have bulletin boards where you will find notices of jobs that are available right now. So you just need to be vigilant enough to notice where the opportunity is.
And you have, I'm sure you have more Indians with you in this batch where you study in the university.
Yes, definitely.
So all of them got their part-time job?
Not in technical fields, not all of them.
Okay.
I'll say 60% of them are working in some technical domain, but some people who don't get technical jobs, they work in places like McD or factories where they need manual labor work.
Okay.
Yeah.
But our students mostly are engineers, and they have before they come, they would have been done triple IIT Bangalore course, so they will be sufficiently skilled to take up a employment in technical areas because they will have knowledge, and that's good. So one thing which I think a lot of people want to know from you, I believe, is that how did you get into public university? So what is the process around getting into a public university? You took 9 months, you said, preparing for this public university.
Yeah.
And just to start with, what were your grades in your bachelor's? How much CGPA were you holding?
Yeah, sure. So I had 8.05 out of 10. And on top of that, I had that work experience as well. So that adds up. And applying to a public university, you need a list of things, and not only one thing in particular is important. So one thing will be your bachelor's grades, and then the courses that you did in your bachelor's, that is also important. Then comes your IELTS or TOEFL score. then your statement
What is
of
the IELTS?
purpose.
What is the IELTS requirement? IELTS or TOEFL requirement for a public university?
It actually depends from course to course. In my course, IELTS is 8 band required and TOEFL is 108 out of 120 is required.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you need very, very high IELTS score at least for your course. If somebody wants to take data science as a degree in public university, he has to have 8 kind of a IELTS.
For my university, yes. It might be less for other universities. Sometimes these requirements change. I've seen people get into data science program with 7 IELTS band as well. So it depends on the university and their administration.
7 to 8 is what you're saying, but 7 to 8 is also not that straightforward to get. People find it difficult. But anyway, you need GRE as well?
Some courses, very few. I'll say 10% of the courses ask for GRE scores.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you need to have a good grade, you said. You need to have some work experience which helps you. You need to have high IELTS score. What else?
Statement of purpose is very important. Then letter of recommendations are important. Yeah, I think all in all, these are the things that make your profile.
Can you tell me more about your statement of purpose? What did you write there?
I wrote, since I was working as a backend developer and I wanted to pursue data science. So I wrote that I want to combine these two disciplines and create a product or create something that leverages machine learning while it's being used by normal customer as well.
And letter of recommendation, whom did you get it from?
I got 2 from my bachelor university and 1 from my employer whom I was working with at that time.
And in bachelor university, you need to reach out to professors.
Yeah. I reached out to the professor with whom I did my bachelor's thesis and 1 more professor with whom I did 4 or 5 courses during the entire 4 years. And from my job, I took the letter of recommendation from my CTO.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that whole process of getting IELTS, getting TOEFL, getting the letter of recommendation, SOP, application, how much time it takes? You said 8 months. I'm assuming 8 months is to reach there, but what was that whole process? So
I started in mid-July and I got my documents collected and exams done by September end. So it's like 2.5 months. I took only 40 days to prepare for TOEFL. It depends on person to person, how much time they require. So and since October till December, I was applying to the universities. Then in January, I applied for the loan. February, I had my visa interview. And in March, I came here.
Okay. So basically, you mean that only one thing does not matter. You need to have good grades in your bachelor. That's one thing. Then you need to have professors who are willing to give you letter of recommendation, and that will depend on the research work which you have done or the courses which you have taken with the professors. And I'm assuming good grades with the professors matter, because otherwise they will be very difficult to give you a good recommendation if they don't see good grades. And then you have to appear for the IELTS. You have to have high IELTS score, high TOEFL score, and then you need a good statement of purpose. How was the visa interview with German embassy was?
It was very simple. They have a list of documents that you need to submit. If everything is in place, they don't ask too many questions. At least that was the case when I went. Now I don't know because of COVID if things have changed.
Yeah. Maybe they have changed. So let's say once you land up in Germany, when did you land up in Germany?
I landed on March 19th, 2019.
2019. And you did, you're taking 3 years to complete this course, as I understand, and that was your personal choice. So, how does the German culture in terms of academic work? If a 2-year course is taken in 3 years, what do you do? What do you decide that, okay, I want to spend more time doing this course? And how the people look at it?
Okay. So, to be honest, only from my perspective, I've seen that only 1% of the people finish their program or degree in the designated time, which is 2 years generally. And 99% don't do that. And the employers don't mind it. They will see your grades and what you did. So if you are just taking a semester break and doing nothing, that will create a negative point in your profile. But let's say if I'm working a part-time job like research assistant that I am currently, but I took only 2 courses instead of 5 that I'm supposed to take, then that creates a positive point because I am trying to understand the German working culture and trying to ingrain myself into the German employment sector. So that helps. And employers, majority of the times, they'll not say, why did you take so much time to finish your master's? People have finished in 4 years also, and they have gotten job directly after that. Nobody gives them a negative point because of that. It depends on what you did.
How difficult it is to pass a course in Germany? I think that's my big question will be in a public university where you're studying. What is the rigor in terms of and how does the evaluation work in this scenario?
Yeah, so in us Indians find it the most difficult because what we are used to is we'll have some assignments, some quizzes, a midterm exam during the entire semester, and then we'll have final exam, and all those will contribute towards our final grade. But here it isn't the case. Here you study the whole semester, you have assignments also, but they are only for your eligibility criteria for the exam. Your final grade is provided only by the final exam that you write. So your entire semester is decided by the 2 hours in the end of the semester.
So it's kind of an Indian culture then only. No? You get your final marks. Now India has moved to continuous evaluation and a lot of assignments and midterm exams are contributed. But you're saying in Germany, 100% marks are given on the final exam.
Yes. Yeah.
So the internals don't matter. The internal tests,
they don't.
Class participation.
They matter in the sense that, for an example, I did machine learning course, and they have 10 assignments during the entire semester. So you need to finish at least 7 in order to write the final exam. That's their purpose. So if you finish 7 assignments, then you can write the final exam, and your grade will come only from the final exam.
Oh, okay. Then it's a tough thing. If you don't, so this is one day trick in case you fail. So these 7 assignments which you have to do, these are all evaluated?
They are just evaluated in the sense that you have submitted them or not.
Okay. Nobody goes into the depth of saying that, okay, is it done well, not well? No grade given on assignment.
No, they are discussed in the classes, but they are not evaluated individually. Like you correctly solved it or you incorrectly solved it. That is not done.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the German culture. So basically, you prepare. Let's say you've taken 2 courses for 1 semester. That means 6 months. Basically, you're doing one particular course. How much is the contact hours and how much is the self-study here?
So they have courses ranging from 5 to 6 credits. So 1 credit is 30 hours, including the lecture time and self-study time and everything. So if you want to do it in 2 years, which is 4 semesters, and a master's degree is 120 credits.
Yeah.
So it's 30 credits per semester. So 30 into 6 is 180 hours.
Okay. So 180 hours, you're saying?
Sorry, I made a mistake. It's 30 hours, 1 credit.
So you are doing 30 credits, that means you are 900 hours.
Yes.
So if you're doing 120 credits, you're saying 120 into 30 is 3,600 hours basically to get a degree out of this. But this includes contact hours as well as your self-study, assignments you're doing, final examination you're giving, everything included here.
Everything, yes, it includes everything. Yeah.
How easy it is to understand from German professors in the classroom when they're teaching?
For me, it wasn't, because I was used to watching Hollywood movies and Hollywood TV shows. So I got accustomed to European accents a little. But in the initial days, at least for the first week or so, some words you were not able to understand, what they are saying. So you kind of understand the meaning from the context of what is going on in the lecture.
Okay, got it. I think now the most important question, 3 years, or nearly 3 years you're doing in Germany. How good is your German language?
I am still at A1.
You're still at A1 and you're surviving.
Yeah.
So that's a good news for everyone who's thinking about going to Germany. You can survive at A1 language. We had an alumni on Saturday as well, and we got the same feedback that you can live in Germany without any specific German language knowledge, and A1 is what you have survived. So this A1 also you learned once you go there.
I learned a little before I came to Germany, Then I tried to learn a little when I came to Germany, but since I don't require it very often, so I don't learn it very often as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now that when you complete your master's degree, next step will be to find a job.
Yeah.
And you must have seen your seniors as well as many others taking up the job. Did they prepare themselves for getting the job by learning German language to some level? A1 is fine or A2, B1 is required?
It actually depends on the company, but if they are asking for German, if any company is asking, they'll ask for minimum B1.
B1, okay.
Yeah,
In case
B1 is,
for.
yeah, in case if they're asking, they'll ask for minimum B1. And if you know German, then it's like you have the entire 100% market open to you. But if you don't know German, then some part of the market is cut off because you can't apply because you don't know German. But for IT people, it's not a problem because majority of the companies, as I said, are working with international cultures. So they have English speaking environment. So it's not a big problem as it's made out to be.
Got it. So you're saying in case you are looking for data science or cyber security or field like even from management point of view, I'll say, because you're going to work in the university, in the companies who are going to be mostly international in their mindset, you don't really need to know the German language.
Yeah.
Okay. And in terms of your living cost, I know the Germany requires you to put 10,000 euros upfront before you go from here, India to that.
Yeah.
Is 10,000 euro more than what you need, less than what you need? Where does it, like, can you live a decent life here in 10,000 or you can actually use lesser than that?
It actually depends on the city where you are living. So I am currently living in a city called Magdeburg, which is in East Germany, which is kind of the cheaper part of Germany. So my expenses, they come around to 600 euros per month. But let's say if somebody is living in Munich, for example, their apartment's rent is 500 euros per month. So there the expenses, they come around 800, 900 euros per month. And if you live in Berlin, it's around 700, 800 euros. So it depends from city to city. But the German government's regulations, which are 854 euros per month, should be sustainable probably in every city in Germany.
Okay. So 854 is decent for living, and if you have less than that, even then you survive. But government anyway requires you to keep that, so you don't really need to spend it because you have to spend 854. You're saying.
Yeah.
And your accommodation is you got accommodation within the campus.
No, I am living outside the campus. I am living with an apartment given by a company here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. So people, I don't know if somebody has asked Survi Kiran Gandhi regarding the eligibility criteria. I'm assuming eligibility criteria for getting into master's data science. Is this the question? What was the criteria in terms of, did you remember that in your university, someone has to come for master's data science course? Do they put any criteria in terms of eligibility?
The criteria are in terms of only the TOEFL or IELTS score. If they're asking for GRE, then they'll provide a cutoff for that. But no other criteria is disclosed because every application is individually checked, and then it's decided whether this person should be admitted or not. Because here there are two types of courses. One is open course and one is closed course. So in open course, they don't have a limited number of seats. They can admit as many people as they want. So my course is an open course. So even I don't know how many people are there who came in the same semester as me. But if it's a closed course, then they have very rigid requirements, which are very clearly mentioned on the course webpage.
Got it. Do you have any idea if someone has to go to B1 language proficiency, how much time do people take typically reach to B1? Your friends who have done it?
Not my friends, but I know one person who did till C1 in 6 months.
6 months? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
C1
but he was spending 9 to 10 hours a day on German.
Yes.
Yeah.
When you put your mind to it, you can do it.
Yeah. So it kind of depends, but ideally it should be like one level 6 months. So A1 in 6 months and A2 in 6. So to B1, it's 1.5 years if you take things at a normal pace.
Okay, got it. So if someone wants to take a German language course in German university, what is the eligibility criteria there in terms of German knowledge?
It will be at least B1,
At least
depending
B1.
on the course. Yeah, but there is a positive side to it as well. Since a lot of internationals don't apply to German-based courses, the admission for any international is easy if they know German.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I think this question is asked to get a job in management sector, how German language comes into picture. It's same like IT or different. Kaushik, answer to you. Do you want to attempt this? Because I don't know whether you know people who are taking management as a sector.
Not personally, but this much I can tell that again, it will come down to the company. How much local people are they interacting with? What will be your role? So if you need to interact with local clients, then you'll need German. If you are not going to interact with local clients, you are going to work only internally and the company has English-based culture, then probably you won't.
Okay.
It's a very case-to-case basis thing.
So basically what you're saying, if you want to find a job, it's better to get a B1 language proficiency, especially in management sector, just to not cut off few jobs for you. And even if you take up a job where you are not required genuinely, even if you have A1, A2 level of proficiency, you can deal with people mostly.
Yeah. Sometimes if you know a little German, companies also sponsor you to learn further.
Yeah. So if you are at A2 level, then companies will sponsor you to learn B1.
Yeah, it happens. I've seen this happen.
Yeah. Now I have specific question. I don't know whether you can answer because these are. Can you please tell me the scope of biomedical engineering? Are you in position to answer this question?
No, I should not. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's not a biomedical engineer. So sorry, Harendra, he can't answer this question. He can answer question on German language which we have asked. Similarly, one more question is: you are an electronics engineer, na?
Yeah, I was.
What are the opportunities for electronics? Somebody wants to pursue masters in electronics in Germany, in German university. What do you think will be scope for him? Is there sufficient demand for electronics engineer in Germany?
It is because of automation coming into automotive industry. And I think everybody knows that Germany is one of the biggest markets for automotive industries. And because of automation in automotive industries, even they are requiring computer scientists, electronics engineers, and mechanical engineers they need anyways. So there is scope.
So I think both the questions, like what are the opportunities for electronics engineer and what are the opportunities for instrumentation engineers, I think both have been answered. That you have a lot of scope because the companies are there who are building for the automotive companies. They will need both electronics and instrumentation engineers. And to top of that, if you're doing data science, I think you will be much more valued because they are all working on self-driven cars. And the self-driven cars are basically not much about, but about artificial intelligence, machine learning, data science. So I think that answers the question. Harpreet Singh wants to ask a question. Sir, I have done BSc in non-medical and I want to pursue MSc in math or chemistry. So do I need to give IELTS exam or German language test? And one more thing, how much it costs to me, how much band is required, and within how many times they will issue visa, and how much gap is acceptable. I think I'll pick up the last one. Do you think that there is a gap being questioned in Germany? If you are going to a university, will they ask that, okay, after your bachelor's, what were you doing if you're not working? Will there be a negativity around it if you don't work for some time and then look for studies in Germany?
If you can showcase that you were doing something in that time, then it won't be a negative problem. But if it's like it's just a blank, then it will raise some eyebrows for sure.
Sure. Okay. And I think, Harpreet, your question is that you want to pursue MSc in math or chemistry. I think you can do. There should not be an issue, but IELTS exam requirement will be depending upon the German university which you are applying to.
Yeah.
And typically it will be on higher band only, 7+ bands, which you should be targeting if in case you are looking for public university. And German language is not required in case you are looking for English short course. Unless you are brave enough to go for a B1 and study a German language course, you don't really need a German language required.
Yeah,
Great.
exactly.
Yeah. There's a question from Milana Matthew. I am from applied economics background. Am I eligible to take master's degree in data science from Germany? I believe this question is for us because the program we are discussing is the data science Germany with IU University. Milana, I'll apply to you. If you have a bachelor's with 50% marks and you can clear the data science aptitude test, which we will be holding, then you are eligible to study in Germany. Then it should not be an issue. As far as we are concerned, you can join our course and you can go to Germany in the year 2. For public university, I don't know. You're changing a field. I think it was mentioned earlier by Tarun that in case you are looking to go for a computer science course or data science course, you should have a background in computer science.
Not exactly. So it's
Okay.
like you should have some courses in mathematics,
Okay.
some courses in computer science. Not entirely your program should be in computer science, because I am an example of that. My program was electronics and communication. So some mathematics based courses are a mandatory requirement. Some like linear algebra or statistics or these kind of courses. And some programming based courses are required. And if it works well in your favor, if you have some working experience as a programmer.
So I think the easier route for you, Milana, will be to join our course because we don't require you to take any of those exams. So it's a very straightforward exam which we take. And also, if you don't know coding or if you don't have computer science background, still the course will prepare you to go to Germany and do the data science. So that's what our answer will be. If you have follow-up questions, you can ask. Harendra is asking, is IELTS 6 score enough to get into an biomedical engineering? He has a good grade, but his score is 6. Do you think there will be any university who will take IELTS 6? Public university?
He can look for universities, but I'm not sure if 6 will be accepted in a public university. So my suggestion will be that he prepare once more for IELTS and then give IELTS and get a better band there. If he has good grades in bachelor's, then it will become easier for him.
Sure. My answer will be that IELTS 6 will not be acceptable. I don't think any public university will give you admission on IELTS 6. You will have to at least target 7+. You have a good grade, but with that, you need to also provide good research or something which shows that you have a research-oriented mindset to get into a public university. It cannot be pure theoretical understanding and just good grades which will help you. I hope we have answered Harpreet's question. He has again asked my question, please. We have taken one. What is the eligibility criteria for management courses? Yateshwar Lakkaraju. You have not mentioned which course you're talking about. Are we talking of Masters in Management in Public University? I don't think, just to check with Tarun, I think I'll just double check on this one. Are public universities also offering management courses or are they purely focused on technical courses?
They offer courses in economics. I'm not sure if there are courses corely based on management. Because in my university, they have an economics department where people are doing their masters. So it's more or less related to operation research or logistics or international business, but I'm not sure how much of management is the core of those courses.
Got it. So my sense, I think I'll just add to what Tarun said. Typically, pure management courses like MBA, MIM are not offered by public university. These are offered by applied universities only, applied sciences universities only. So, and in case of our case, your requirement is very straightforward. You have to at least have 50% in your bachelor's to get into a master's in management course at IU Germany. Pritesh is asking that your fees is very high, exorbitantly high. Adding accommodation expenses would be equivalent to seeking MS in UK. Is IU Berlin sponsoring scholarship? So Pritesh, I think you should talk to the counselors. There are scholarships available for students who will perform well. It's not that there are no scholarships available, and your fees will be equivalent of what you're spending in MS in UK. Don't worry, it will be lesser than that only. But I don't think Tarun is in right position to answer this question, so I'm not posing this to him. His question, there is another question from Harendra Ganda Reddy asking that B1 level German with this. In some universities, they are asking B1 level German language within third semester. Otherwise, we have to discontinue studies at this scenario what we have. Do you think that a university will change the criteria once you join the course? He's saying that after third semester, they say that you need to give B1 language knowledge.
No, it's not like that. So it's like I joined in summer semester of 2019. So the regulations which were there before I joined will apply to me as long as I'm doing my master's. The new regulations, if they are changed, they'll not apply to me. So if they are mentioning previous to your admission that you will need B1 by your third semester, then you will need B1 by your third semester.
Yeah, I think these rules vary by university.
Yes.
You found a university where you were able to get pure English, but public universities will have some or other German required. That's what I'm.
It depends on the course as well. Like,
yeah,
let's say if somebody is doing a mechanical course, then at the end, when they are about to graduate, then the universities also want that they know some German in order to be able to ready or tackle the market, right? So that's why they have some requirements for such courses. But in most of the computer science courses, I searched for about 50 courses before I applied. And I did not find any such requirements in all those 50 courses.
If you're looking for computer science, you're saying that it's easy because the English taught courses are available. Other faculties might require some German language knowledge.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dada Nanjesha wants to ask, why did you choose Germany? Why not other countries? I think this is a good question to answer.
The first reason is it's cheaper as compared to other countries like US, Canada, or Australia. Because if you get in public universities, it becomes much easier on your pocket because they don't have tuition fees. They only have something called semester fees, which also gives you access to public transport for free during your studies. So that was one of the reasons. And I am personally not very fond of US. Australia, there was racism scenes when I was coming here, and Canada is very cold.
Yeah.
So that's why I decided on Germany.
I think you touched on a very good point. I want to little further detail. In your 2.5 years, have you faced any kind of racism in your interaction with the locals?
No. Sometimes some drunkard old people, they might shout at you something. But for me, it was a blessing in disguise that I did not know German. So I did not know what they were saying. Okay. But one-to-one, I've not faced any racism.
And how is the startup sector in Berlin, which we have been hearing about?
It's very good. It's very good
very
here.
Good.
And I worked in a startup only when I was working here as a student. So even in a startup, they had English culture. So that's kind of a testament to people who are kind of skeptical that they'll not find jobs. And it's a very small city. Here, if startups are speaking English, then I'm sure in bigger cities, you'll find much more startups like this.
True. No, I think startups mostly will be in English only because they try to cater to the global audience, not to the local audience. All the startups will start are looking to reach out to customers beyond wherever they are based out of. So that's why you will find most of them will be speaking English and most of them will be multicultural organization.
Yeah.
Have you been to, like, you go to Berlin regularly?
Not since COVID, but I've been there at least once in 2 or 2.5 months. It's 1.5 hour away from me, so it's very easy, very reachable.
Okay, and when you go to Berlin, what kind of culture do you see? Is it like more of a?
Berlin is the, I'll say, hippest city of Europe.
Okay, hippest city of Europe. Okay.
Yeah. You'll find every type of people there, and Berlin is like it. People you'll find even at 3 a.m. in the night. You'll find variety of cultures as well, because here Germany has a lot of immigrants from Turkey, and then there are a lot of international students. Berlin has multiple universities, so it means more international students, and the majority of the population of Berlin is young. So that's why
Got it.
it's,
Very good.
yeah.
Place to be.
Yes.
While applying to public university, one anonymous attendee is asking this question: does only the CGPA matter, or does the university you graduate from play a role in the selection to a course?
And that also plays a little role because Germany has a central database of universities. If your university is listed there, then they check what kind of grade the university is provided by the German Recognizing Council. So that matters, yes.
Okay. So obviously you're from IITs and you will have a benefit, don't worry. But otherwise also you have a chance. Sir, I am pursuing my 12th right now. Should I plan to pursue my bachelor's in Germany? I would like to study in automobile. So I have not heard much about bachelor's in Germany. What is your sense? People come for bachelor's in Germany?
Yeah, they come, but the caveat here is in India, we have 12 classes, right? From 1st to 12th. In Germany, they have 13. So if people are coming from India, they have to do something called Studentenkolleg, so which is 1 year course that kind of bridges a gap that we miss as Indians. And after that, they can apply for bachelor's courses, but majority of the bachelor courses are offered in German only.
So bachelor's is tough, Mr. Anonymous attendee. I think you should wait for the master's, which is, I have also heard that bachelor's visa is not easy to get in Germany. So there are more rejections for bachelor's. So I think master's is a safe bet.
Yes.
If you are thinking about. Is it possible to switch streams while doing master's journey after joining a specific course? Also, does the prior work experience limit opportunities to that particular field in Germany? So, do you change your specialization, or can you change your course once you have joined Germany, university in Germany?
Yeah, you can do that. I have seen a couple of people who came in my semester with me, but then they changed universities altogether. And because they applied to some other university and they got an admit. So they changed university. And regarding the specialization, so it depends on you. I had my mindset ready when I came that I want to do in data science. And since I had software engineering background, so I kind of stuck to only those two disciplines. I did not move around too much. But if you're not so sure, as in my course, you can do in databases. There is electronics also a scope there, robotics is there, then data science is there. So you can take a few courses and then decide.
And what is better, doing masters in Germany after bachelor's, just after bachelor's, I think your question is, or you after some work experience? Does it matter you have a work experience while applying to Germany?
My personal experience will say yes, it will, because once you get a sense of how to work in the real world, you adjust to things better here, and the options for internships or full-time jobs become relatively easier if you have some kind of experience. Otherwise, you need to showcase it in some other way, which can be difficult sometimes, not always, but sometimes.
If you're looking for public university, it's good to have work experience.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, got it. Not for the applied sciences, but yes, for the public university, so getting admission, you are competing with people who have work experience.
Yeah.
So it's better to have work experience. Okay. How about PhD? People who are pursuing PhD, and can they go directly for PhD to Germany, or they have to do masters and then go to do PhD in Germany?
People can come directly for PhD as well in Germany. Okay. I'm not sure about what the procedure for that direct application is, but if you are doing masters here already, then doing a PhD is very easy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I believe someone wants to pursue PhD. First of all, he has to send his research topic, thesis topic to a guide and get it approved, and that's a little tough process. If you're doing it from India and trying to approach a university professor in Germany and make him interested to your research thesis, I think this is a challenge. As far as PhD is concerned, I think it's a fully paid PhD, so there is no scholarship as such required. You will get stipend from university.
Yes.
So you don't really need a money to do PhD. It's just that getting your PhD thesis approved is difficult for anyone who's looking
Yes.
to go. Yeah, and there are a lot of people who want to do PhD. PhD is so much in demand that there are a lot of people who will want to do PhD, and you will be competing with many. And they can't take as many because the individual advisor you need.
Yes, exactly.
So PhD is a tougher thing to do, as per my understanding. And unless you have a very, very excellent topic and you've done some research papers prior to that, then only you can appear for the PhD in Germany.
One thing I would
score-
like to add to that.
Yeah.
So if you've done masters here, I've seen that 99% people don't want to do PhD after doing masters, at least.
Okay.
So if you have your mind set on doing PhD, do a masters here first. That will make your path much easier if you want to do PhD, because then you have background that you have studied in Germany for a while and you are applying for a PhD. The professor will easily accept you as if you come apply directly from India itself.
I'm sure doing a master's in Germany itself is kind of a PhD. You have to do a lot of research.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think a question which is there, is GRE score needed for doing masters in embedded system in public university? I think you'll have to check with the university where you're applying. I think Tarun has already replied. Every university has their own criteria. So check the university you want to apply if they need the GRE. If they need, you have to get it. Can 8.5 plus CGPA in bachelor's and 7 plus IELTS band fetch you seat in public universities? I think you have an example. You have an example in front of you. Tarun has done it. You can do it, but then you need to have a good LOR, letter of recommendation, as well as SOP to go with it. And the reason you are going there, you need to have some work experience proving that you really want to do something in applied science. Most university expect us to have bachelor's degree with 180 or 210 ECTS. How is ECTS calculated for our bachelor's certificate? This question I don't know. How is ECTS calculated?
So the credit that I mentioned earlier, so that was 1 ECTS. So 1 ECTS is 30 hours. And now what we need to do, or what I did is, I had 164 credits according to my university's regulations. So I asked them to prepare a document which mentioned that 1 credit is how many hours according to our university. So that's how I got a letter from the university letterhead stamped by the registrar saying that, okay, this many hours is corresponding to 1 credit in our university. And that's how they evaluate here in Germany.
Okay. So answer is that you need to reach out to your university if you want to prove that you have 180 or 210 or whatever number it is. And they will give you in writing, only then public university will accept it.
Yeah.
Opinion on masters in engineering management. I don't know. Masters in engineering management, do you have any opinion? What opinion are you looking for, Aravind? I think that is a bigger question here.
No, I have no idea about engineering management, so I can't say anything about that.
Sure. Berlin versus Bonn. Do you have any comparison in your mind? Berlin versus Bonn, which place the student should go if they want to? They have option of studying in both the campuses.
Berlin has multiple universities. Depends on which university are you there in Berlin. Which university?
I think it's talking of IU only. I think the question is IU University. There is a campus in Berlin as well as Bonn.
Okay.
Closer to Bonn. I think the question is that between the two cities, which one should I use?
I'll say Berlin any day.
Berlin any day. Okay. I applied for few public universities which they asked minimum 5.5 scores. I got 6 in IELTS. Is it okay to get an admission? Yes, please. If the university is asking 5.5, then you should go.
Yeah.
Okay, now we are coming to how difficult is to get a job in data science. What is your sense?
Depends on how you establish yourself apart from the crowd. So in my university right now, if I'll say I have at least 400 people who will be looking for jobs within the next 14 or 15 months for data science. So it comes down to me how I set myself apart from them. But getting a job is not impossible. You just need to be smart about it.
Good. If someone has not done computer science, can he do data science course?
Yeah, I'm doing.
You should know somewhat of something about computer, and if you don't know, that's what we prepare you for. I think Naresh who's asked this question. Naresh, don't worry. Whatever required computer science you need to know, whatever languages you need to know, whatever tools you need to know, you will be taught in this course. But I think you missed our last webinar with the clear discussion on this particular topic that you really don't need CS computer science to do data science. Data science is more about data, analytics, logic, and patience. More about patience with the data. I think you should not be worried about, scared about from data. That is very important because you will get so much data to analyze that you should be ready to deal with it.
Yeah, as I said, you need linear algebra and statistics. Mathematics is the core of data science. Computer science is not.
Yeah. I think this is good. I want to do, okay. I think someone is again asking question on engineering management, so I'll leave it. How difficult to get, we already cost of course, I think this we can discuss. So somebody is asking what is the cost of course if we take up upgrade program for second year masters in Germany scholarship, if any, into data science. And this can be answered by the counselors at upgrade. So I'll leave it to that. What is the chance to get admission in public university with 6 CGPA in bachelor's? So someone really wants to go to public university but not willing to work hard. What is that? 6 CG?
They can if they are willing to know or learn German and apply to a German-based course. With 6 CGPA, you will easily get an admission.
So Sagar, the answer is that you need to know then B1 language. That's the German
At
language,
least.
and you need to study in then German. At least, okay.
Yeah.
He's scaring us now. He's saying at least B2. So yeah, so if you want to get into German public university with the 6 CGPA, I think you'll have to get to B2 level or B1, at least B1 level. So great. Thanks a lot. I think it was engaging talking to you, Tarun. I think you clarified a lot of our questions which we always had. Hope learners benefited out of it, and we'll continue to keep inviting our alumni as well as people who are in Germany and studying or doing something in job for you to ask your questions. So be part of this webinar session going forward, and you'll get a lot of knowledge about Germany.
Happy to share whatever I had.
Great. Thanks a lot, Tarun. Thanks for your time, and enjoy your evening in Germany.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night. Take care. Bye.